Alright, time for another DraftPhysics.com, DebatePhysics.com, also video presentation. Yes, just some more comments. It's just so dismal that you can't find anybody capable of engaging in any kind of back and forth. Here's an assertion. You show me your evidence demonstrating that assertion can't be true. So in the gravity video, I'm making the simple assertion that gravity creates heat. Heat is energy. You have to explain how you conserve the energy if your theory is a bent geodesic created the gravity. You have to explain how the heat goes back into whatever a bent geodesic is, whatever caused the bent geodesic. Alright, not that complicated, and you just get this mush from morons. So this moron, this is hilarious. So that's the best he can do. So to all of the moronic comments, I'll just post. This is just cowardly, evasive, waste of time mush. You really are an embarrassment to human intelligence there. Okay. So, but you know, what's the point? You know, these people are just such time wasters. Alright, give the a-hole what he deserves, piss on his grave. Yes, that's one of my favorite imagined punishments for evildoing on Earth, is that their grave be pissed on. By, like, even people walk their dogs and have their dog piss on them also. It seems fitting. But anyway. Do you have any videos including live debates? No, really. I mean, you can't call them a debate, okay? So I tried to engage in a debate, and they played my argument, and then they just changed the subject entirely. So there's no point. You can't get them to stay on the subject. So this person who's stealing, you know, some other personality's icon. Anyway, FSC is the evidence, QED. So, you know, again, what is this? This is mush. This isn't an argument. I think I'll also give him a, oh, this is just evasive crap. Okay, can you find a subject, please? The subject is, does gravity create heat in the universe? Yes or no? I guess I could ask him the question again, but I mean, it was in the video, so I really shouldn't have to do that. Let's see. After watching this, I think Terrence Howard is a genius. The bar is set pretty low. So again, they keep referencing other people, like somehow I'm somehow connected with these other people. So every time a physicist says something stupid, or let's say a physicist is a racist, or a physicist does some other thing, I can just use that example and just compare every other physicist to that and say that's all they're about. I mean, you know, just garbage. Junk, shit rhetoric. Yeah. I didn't even know who Terrence Howard is. Somebody says the name, I say, oh, who the fuck is that? And then, oh, you mean that guy that was on the fucking Joe Rogan show, you know, along with Donald Trump and other morons. Oh, yeah, that's so special. I should pay so much attention. No, I didn't pay any fucking attention. You're the ones that pay attention to this shit. God damn. Alright, so here's a real comment. It's moronic, but at least it's a comment sort of on the subject. Alright, so this is an older video. Physicists don't do the truth very well, so this is the explanation of the two-slit experiment. And I go into detail about how the math doesn't work if you use the Young diagram of two waves coming out of the double slit, which there's no two waves if you make the slit so small that there's no, you know, there's no capacity for there to be a wavelength of difference, or no capacity for there to be a phase difference. Anyway, in 1901, Young experiments showed that acts like a wave. Yeah, and I've demonstrated clearly that that's not what it showed in the first place. He didn't even see the actual double slit experiment. He saw little blobs of light. He wasn't even using monochromatic light. I mean, this whole thing is just such a big pile of fraud. Okay, why? Because the interference pattern. Later, scientists shot single electrons one at a time. So this is and they made the same pattern over time. So this is the big lie. They didn't shoot electrons through a double slit. So just lie some more. they're bouncing them off of a metal. Okay, and so, yeah, you get a pattern because guess what? There's crystals, they have layers, the layers have a fixed distance between them, so of course you're going to get a pattern that reflects the fact that the electron's going to end up in a different place if it bounces off the first layer or the second layer or the third layer. Duh. It's hardly the same experiment. It's not a double-slit experiment. It's just another big fat lie. So that's all they got is these. They just keep lying about the past. Another moron's going to bring up, the Eddington experiment. He has no awareness that Eddington wrote a journal and stated right in the journal, I wouldn't stake my life on these results. And why did he say that? Because he explains how he only got 10% of the data quality. He was expecting 10,000 stars per slide. He got 1,000. That's how bad the weather was. It had rained 5 minutes before the experiment. Can you imagine how much moisture was still in the air? And your telescope has to see through that? So even if you could get it so there was no clouds in the way, with all that humidity in the air, you're doomed. All right. So but you can't understand this, right? You're too stupid. Is that what you're just basically telling me, that you're all too stupid to understand these arguments and say, yes, that's a valid argument. We really should do the experiment from space because actually from space there's 400 times, not 4, not 40, 400 times better resolution. 400 times better seeing. It's like having a microscope, 400x. You don't realize how gigantic that difference is? It's an insane difference. And they've never even attempted it from space. It takes 5 minutes. Mediocre camera. Never even attempted? Yeah, you believe that. I'm not an idiot. I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe in holy ghosts. Okay, but when they tried to detect which slit the electron went through, so a big lie again. So again, these detector experiments were never done. They never tried to detect which slit the electron went through or the photon. Electrons, you have some hope, but even when you push electrons with light, they're going to move a lot. So there's no hope of really detecting which slit it went through, and they never did it, is the point. So just keep talking the lie. Keep pushing lies because you're too damn fucking stupid. Alright, well, when they tried to detect the slit electron went through, the interference pattern disappeared. So, lie. It's just an absolute lie. It never happened. And it came out as 2 bands instead. So, show me the experiment. If you say it happened, show me the experiment, okay? Show me the paper that was written about the experiment. Show me, liar. That's what really confused everyone and showed wave-particle duality. You're so fucking stupid. Alright, let's see. So, dude, you're just shitting ideas out of your ass. Well, I mean, I'll have to leave him some other kind of comment, but, what a jerk. So, another person that deserves to be pissed on. Mick 62569. Oh, God. Alright, sudden spike in views. I'm very interested to hear where they came across this video. So that was curious also. So apparently it's just a YouTube glitch. So, I'm pleased that they actually exposed one of my videos to an audience. So that's good. Apparently this is all done by the computer. If some video starts to get viewed, like where people actually watch the content instead of just clicking off, or an impression leads to a click instead of a no click, these little triggers happen and all of a sudden a video gets shown more often because it has a high view rate, you could call it, and that's it. So that video just happened to fit one of those matrices, and so it got a little more exposure than the average video. Alright, let's see this idiot. Take it easy. No need to insult me or get angry. I've been doing this for 10 years, and all you little weasels have done for 10 years is evade the subject. Alright, I studied physics and chemistry. Well, can you make an argument? Can you make a video? Can you make a phone call? and maybe you could explain to me how all these lies and all this bullshit and propaganda is necessary. And it is just lies. Okay, the other guy just lied about the truth. There are no detector experiments. None of that crap ever took place. Your physics is layered in bullshit. Anyway, interdisciplinary, and I've been now doing physics and chemistry for over 15 years. Well, it would be interesting to know what physics and chemistry you're doing. Fuck. I know how to learn and teach physics. Alright, so we'll have to definitely go to this guy's channel, because he's claiming to be doing some kind of physics. Okay, there's no physics. So he's got a pretty bad drawing of Reese Witherspoon. I mean, you know, it's no worse than my drawings, but you know, but that's it. Yeah, he's a physicist. Brother. If you don't want to take my suggestions to heart, I don't need your suggestions. I've been doing this for over 10 years and deeply researching these subjects, and I am going to claim I know more about them than you do. I know more about the double-slit experiment than you do, jackass. And clearly, again, this is just a fact about this idea that, well, is it a real force that causes gravity? And the obvious fact that this force, this effect of gravity, moves at exactly the same speed as the speed of light is such a giveaway that, oh, come on. You mean the weird bent space thing just happens to move at the same speed as the not so weird, photon energy? Too ridiculous. All right, anyway. Then that's fine. It's your choice, obviously. Have a nice day. Well, whatever that even means. Don't have a nice day. You're a propagandist, a child molester, frankly. If you teach this garbage, you're molesting young minds, in my opinion. You're not doing anybody a service here. You're just an inquisitioner preaching your religion, okay? And doing it in an obnoxious and arrogant way. So, fucky you-y. All right. These AI choices of of comments are getting dumber and dumber. Anyway. Okay, it says here, you were right, buddy. I'm the stupid and dishonest one. Yeah, exactly. Alright, literally proving my first point when going through my explanation of why space-time curvature is necessary. Necessary to what? You have no evidence that it does anything different. That's why NASA doesn't bother using it. It's because it doesn't make any difference that you can account for. And all you have is one equation, Einstein's field equation for the precession of Mercury. You don't have any other frickin' evidence here. Alright, you say it's just babble. Yeah, of course. But clearly demonstrates that you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And you're just saying the same blah, 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 blah. You're not proving anything. You're not showing any experimental evidence. And you're certainly not countering my argument that gravity creates heat. A tremendous amount of heat. And that you have to account for that. It's called, they have words for entropy, and they have all kinds of words for this thermodynamic reality. And you have to show how it's somehow conservative, jackass. And where are you accounting for that? You're not doing it at all. You're not paying attention to a single thing said in the video, a single thing drawn in the video. And you're just talking about some other fucking subject. Okay, you clearly have nothing of substance, but it seems you're having fun pretending to be smart on the internet. So I'll let you get back to that. Well, I think I will reply with the standard. Fuck you, this is mush. Alright. So let's see. So people left sub-comment. So I'll read that. You can't even get Newton's laws down correctly. So again, I ask, please quote the statements I made that are incorrect. I mean, it's obviously you assholes who can't get Newton right. So you're saying that Newton believed in kinetic energy, 1/2 mv squared. Let's say mv squared. So he knew that the cannonball flies away from the cannon with 1,000 times more energy than the cannon recoil. 1,000 times more energy. And then he wrote the third law, saying equal and opposite reaction. So you're saying he believed there was an equal and opposite reaction at the same exact moment he was saying, yes, 2,000 joules went that way and 2 joules went that way. And that makes fucking sense to you? And again, I'm supposed to, you think you're smarter than people that believe in holy ghosts? You think you're doing something more reasonable than a flat earther? By telling me you believe Newton believed in kinetic energy and yet wrote the third law, even though kinetic energy always fails to obey the third law. Okay, anytime you change the mass of the object, obviously the cannon's big heavy mass, the cannonball's small mass by comparison, bullet, gun recoil. So again, you're just saying that Newton was that fucking stupid. And you're telling me that I'm insulting Newton or that I'm doing Newton a slander? No, you're slandering Newton, you lying piece of shit. All right, he claims to defend them, but he gets them hilariously incorrect. Well, you'll show no evidence of that. In reality, he defends something more akin to Descartesian physics, which Newton defended. Okay, so let's get this clear. Now, Newton didn't defend Descartes' theory of gravity, but what Newton did say is Descartes was basically the man, and Newton said, if I have seen further than Descartes, right? He didn't say better than Descartes. He's just saying further than Descartes. Okay, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. Those are Newton's words. All right? So let's not pretend that Descartesian wasn't Newtonian, because it goddamn was. The Descartesians were Newtonians. All right, which is definitely wrong. So, amazing. An amazing statement by another moron who knows nothing about the actual facts. He's researched nothing. He has no understanding of the actual historical reality. Just talks shit. Speaking of shit and baby shit, yeah, Audrey says, wow, really salty for someone so dedicated to proving us poopy butts wrong. So exactly how do you do that? I mean, I have in every possible way, I've offered $4,000 to physicists of some account, the Veritasium types, to just mention the subject. To just bring it up and explain how, yes, kinetic energy is real, here's the proof. Yes, here's proof that it takes 25 times the fuel to move something 5 times as fast. And that when something's going 5 times as fast, it'll do 25 times the work. Here's the proof. And I can't get them to do it. I mean, you people are just such pieces of garbage. So whatever this fucking acronym is, go fuck yourself with that. Anyway. Touch grass, enjoy your life of pointless obscurity. Love you. Get what you deserve, you ignorant, reckless cunt. Okay, there, how's that? These baby makers in a world full of shit, laying eggs in a garbage can. Yeah, you're really clever. Okay, edit. You should look up Terrence Howard. So again, another reference to Mr. Irrelevant. I'm supposed to be, somehow I have to account for Terrence Howard's existence. Somehow it's my responsibility. Somehow I created him. No, your civilization created him. Okay, I would have said as soon as he started talking nonsense. Frankly, I'm the one who says, yeah, we probably should have a rule that morons can't drive and morons can't do this and morons can't do that. So I'm all for a test where you have to kind of earn the capacity to be a participant in civilization. If you can't get in a car and not drink, and you can't get in a car and not speed, well, then you shouldn't be able to get in a fucking car. All right, so you can see how others see you. Yeah, I don't care how you see me. The only thing that matters is how I see me. I have character and integrity. I know what decency is. I know what a real argument is. I know what a fair fight is. These are all things I understand. You clearly don't. Dumb bitch. Okay, anyway. So here's Terrence Howard, the man who thinks 1 times 1 equals 2. Yeah, when I went to the page, I saw 1 plus 1 is what I saw. And I said, well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with 1 plus 1 equal 2. But yes, 1 times 1 equal 2 is pretty stupid. Well, that's really bright. Okay, bye. So again, this is my fault somehow. So yes, I'll give him the standard reply. All right. Yes, a fellow crackpot. Bye. So bye, whatever that means. Yes, go get what you deserve. Okay, which is to remain an ignorant, stupid cunt. Okay, that's what you deserve. You want to be that. That's your belligerently ignorant. The fact is, I've made perfectly legitimate arguments. You have no counter argument. You're just a blind faith believer. Just put your burqa on, okay, your physics burqa, okay, and blindly walk through your ignorant, silly, fucking fucktardedly optimistic, dumbass life. All right. I hope you get cholera swimming in your own poo-infested waters. Ugh, assholes. This channel is a result of a trauma, whatever this is. When he was young, he felt that his engineer father didn't consider him to be smart enough to talk about engineering stuff. Well, that's not entirely true. He was just too damn busy, and it was his job, and he wasn't terribly interested in talking shop, okay, with him, which scarred him deeply. Whatever. All right, this role play is now his copus. So whatever this is, right? So when I'm proven right, you know, this kind of crap will be just more evidence that look how despicable humans are. You know, they can't make a counter argument. And they have to, and they imply this they post this psychobabble as if this has something to do with the argument. I mean, even if I was a dyslexic OCB, you know, I want to be a squirrel identity crisis. I want to have squirrel surgery. I could just add all kinds of psychiatric bullshit on top of that. What would be the difference? Yeah, it's such incredible hypocrisy and duplicity. I mean, they make movies about, autistic people who overcome the disability to do something. And, that idiotic movie, whatever that was, that Brilliant Mind thing or something, whatever that one was, where the guy was a real asshole and he's supposed to have a 500 IQ, and he was too stupid to figure out rude is rude. You people are just such piles of shit. Oh, okay, so I'll give this one the, yeah. It's just so disgusting. People are just such garbage. All right. Yeah, his response to my response was a little strange. I get it. Hope you are a good friend, whatever that could possibly mean. All right. He can't even get Newton's laws down correctly. So another accusation where somehow I have done a disservice to Newton when you are the asshole shoving Leibniz's physics in Newton's mouth. His worst enemy in life, and you're putting his physics in Newton's mouth. And you can't see how that's disgusting. All right. He claims to defend them, but gets them hilariously incorrect. In what way, you lying sack of shit? All right. So, I mean, these people are just such garbage. All right. So here's the solar thing. This is just so funny. Okay. Have you heard about the solar eclipse experiment that helped prove Einstein's theory? Yeah. During a total solar eclipse in 1919, yes, in a 1:30 in the afternoon eclipse. It wasn't a 12 noon eclipse like the nice one that we had over North America just a few years ago that nobody did the experiment. No scientist. Scientists saw stars that looked like they were in the wrong place, so he can't even get this quite right. Okay. This happened because the sun's gravity bent the light from those stars, just like Einstein predicted. And so the whole experiment was an absolute farce, and it's just a fact. I mean, it's in his own journal. 10% of the data quality doing a very difficult, tiny little margins of error experiment. A ridiculous claim that this piece of garbage was a good piece of evidence. And let's understand, nobody's redone the experiment outside the margin of error to demonstrate any of this nonsense, and they haven't even attempted it from space with, as I state again, so you lying piece of shit, Mick, you really can't understand that this is a pretty good argument against this nonsense. to just point out that we've been in goddamn space for 50 fucking years. Okay, we got a ton of cameras up there, a lot of really good cameras up there, some good telescopes, by the way. And all you need is a mediocre one. The better, but you don't need much of a telescope. Einstein even suggested you could use Jupiter, okay, which doesn't have a corona and a bunch of shit flying out of it. 400 times better seeing resolution. You don't need an eclipse. It just takes 5 minutes. And it's never been attempted. And you don't think that's a good argument saying, gee, there's something wrong with that science. That doesn't sound like what scientists do. So an experiment that proved Einstein's theory, helped prove Einstein's theory, that experiment you don't bother doing from an environment where there's 400 times. It's 400 times easier to do. You can see the details 400 times better. And you don't think that's a good argument. Amazing. Amazing that these people would pretend to be defenders of the truth and science when they'll defend a racket like that. I mean, this is just absolutely injustice. This is like these people that defend the cops, you know, when they just break into somebody's house, shoot them for, you know, making a phone call. I mean, fuck you. Fuck you. You duplicitous hypocrite. All right. If gravity didn't work the way he said, we wouldn't have seen that. You didn't see it in the first place. You didn't see anything. Okay. How would you explain that? With the facts. Okay. I explain it by saying, go read Eddington's journal, and you'll read you'll read a story about how to have just a dismal experience trying to do an experiment. How everything that could go wrong went wrong. Just a fact. Oh, God, people are just such scummy liars. Sorry, man, but you act so delusional that it's sad watching. Oh, I made him sad. Oh, how upset am I that I made him sad? God, I wish I could make you get what you deserve. That's what I wish I could do. I wish I had make him get what he deserved power. I wish there was like a little Pokemon I could have right on my shoulder, and he could just make him get what he deserves. Make him get what he deserves. What he has earned as a human being, as a talking ball of shit. Get exactly what you fucking deserve, you piece of scum. Alright. So now we have to go all the way back. Yeah, to, what the hell was his name? Screen name. Let's see. It was probably before my comment. So if I find my comment. Oh, that looked like Superior Mind. Yeah, there it is. Don't you watch the video? Oh, didn't you? There's no mechanism. General relativity is just a description of what happens when there's an increase in force exchange. It slows down what the matter can do. Where's the... Okay, so anyway. But obviously, they didn't provide any argument. Alright, so this is all new stuff, so I could read that. Alright, so I gave him my comment response time code as a politeness. Alright, I was talking about general relativity. You understand the math of general relativity. I know you don't. There's only about 1 million people that have used the cliche statement that nobody understood Einstein's theory. Nobody could do the math. Okay, can you understand general relativity without the math? So again, he just keeps talking about this, whatever this math is. Okay, and all the math is Einstein's field equation, which applied to the precession of Mercury. Now, you show me where that math got a precise answer somewhere else. So go ahead, show me where the math actually gets a more precise answer. Oh, that's right, there's no example. No one's ever done the math. Okay, no. So why are you talking about it as if you knew enough about it? You don't. You do science, you must know what you don't know. So I'll just say, I'll give him the standard reply. This is mush. Doesn't have anything to do with my argument. Alright, let's see what else is here. So he has a second comment, right? Same asshole? Yeah, so you can't even figure out how to edit his comment. All right, let's see. I doubt you can work with Newtonian gravity mathematically since you apparently think. So there is no mathematical difficulty to understanding Newtonian gravity. He's giving you the answer. He's already solved the equation. There's no complication. You just say, where are you in the gravitational field? What's the rate of the gravity at that location? And then you just time how many units of that rate you're going to get. What the fuck math are you talking about? See, they just pretend there's some sort of math to everything. Everything's some sort of math. Some sort of complicated math. No. You think being in the gravity twice as long means you get 4 times the energy. That's what you think. You think that if I'm going past a gravitational body, all right, and the influence is going to affect me, that somehow, no matter how fast I go, I'm going to bend exactly the same amount. Because it's how much, it's how much distance I travel, not about how much time I'm in the gravity. So if I go very fast, I can't just zoom right past the planet and be barely affected. You say that's impossible. I say that's how the universe actually works, retard. Okay. Oh, stupid fuckers. All right, since you apparently think that it's just about calculating G, or E equals mgh. Well, I obviously don't believe in mgh. I believe in mgt. But anyway, there's a lot more you can do with it. Who cares? We're talking about what the frickin' force can do, what kind of energy it gives objects. The whole argument is that it gives it velocity, okay, which is going to increase its momentum. So it gives it momentum at a very standard rate. It's not complicated at all. 2 seconds in 9.8, 19.6. You just 3 seconds, 30, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That you apparently don't know, this shows that you haven't solved the problem sets. So what are the problem sets? This is all just, again, just a huge distraction. This is so off the subject. That's the bad idea. You want to learn physics and take it easy. No need to insult me. Have a nice day. Fuck you. You need to be insulted. You're a lying piece of scum. Okay, this isn't about some equation. This is about what you conceptually understand how the mechanics work. Okay, I'll show you a lever that says one mass going 4 times the velocity equals a 4 mass going 1 velocity. You're making the claim that if I drop 4 pounds 1 foot, it's going to be the same energy hitting the ground as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. That's what you're saying, and you have zero evidence supporting that idiotic notion. And you talk this shit, this arrogant nonsense. And you shouldn't be called out, you fucking piece of garbage. Oh, God, people suck. All right, so he's going to defend more general relativity. Look, twice. He can't make 1 comment to somebody. He has to make 2 comments to them. 3 comments to them. Amazing bullshit. All right, I'll take a break. Jesus Christ. You just, humans are such fucking garbage, especially the smart ones. They're just posers. They have no intellectual integrity. They've just memorized mush, mantras, little fucking Jesus, Holy Mother of Father Christ, molester of the Holy Ghost, blah, 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 blah. They just memorize their little mantras and regurgitate this crap, but they can't do any thinking. They can't do something called logic with any integrity. The logic always has to say, me smart, them dumb, or some bullshit like that. Oh, God, I just hate this planet of assholes. So this comment really is funny. So I won't bother reading the whole superior mind. He's just rephrasing what I say in some other way, unfortunately. But anyway, so this guy says, this stuff fapper guy, general relativity is one of the hardest things you can study, and you expect to understand it as an amateur. So again, the videos are online. You can watch all of Leonard Suskind's, quantum mechanics and relativity videos. They're there. And the point is, if you watch just the first two editions, he basically gives you the basic conceptual framework. And what he does is he uses mock gravity as the explanation. So he creates a fluid, okay, gives the fluid the dynamics that are completely symmetrical, okay, and creating a perfect anti-divergence is what he calls it. Right? He won't call it a convergence. He calls it an anti-divergence. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, I played the video in one of my videos. And that's all simple it is. Okay, he converts it into a really simple layout where you're just saying there's this constant flow of mechanism and it just drags everything with it. Okay, and that's how he describes it. There's no bent geodesic, no bent space bullshit. There's just a simple duplication of the inverse square law. And that's it, because that's all it is. It's a convergence, just like photons coming out of the sun. It's no fucking different. It's just like photons going into the sun. It's exactly the same frickin' dynamic. Okay. I've been in physics long enough to know that you won't get an understanding of such difficult subjects as an amateur, and it's mainly because you can't do the math. So this is the big lie. So again, the whole thing can be reduced. You know, reductionism is a real thing. And you can take it and knock it down to simpler concepts. And the simple concept is that mechanically, in the three-dimensional space, it's doing something obvious and certain. And it's obeying the inverse square law. So there's nothing nuanced about it. And it's only when you attempt to do some sort of playing some game with warping time, okay, and adding a fourth dimension, that you're going to get into trouble. There are no fourth, fifth, sixth. There's no other dimensions. The dimensions have a specific... do you understand this elemental physics that it's duplicity to have the same word to describe different things? Okay, if you call a dog a cat, you're being a moron. And if you sit there and have this understanding of what a dimension is, that is, they're all at right angles to each other. They form a right angle. And there's no fourth dimension. Nothing fits. There's no other way to make another dimension, okay, and obey the rules of the other three dimensions. So it's just bullshit. You want to call these things hyperspace, or you want to call it some other kind of thing, that would be fine. But you can't call it a dimension, because it's not. That doesn't mean you're dumb. Well, you are. You're an ignorant, arrogant, obnoxious, religious kook that takes no accountability for the actual argument that's made to you. The actual argument made to you is, if you concede that gravity creates an insane amount of heat, okay, in objects, then you have to explain how that heat turns into an invisible, blah, 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 bent space thing. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means that you're not an expert in general relativity. So again, I don't have to be an expert in general relativity to make the counter argument that your theory of gravity cannot be true, because your theory of gravity isn't made out of anything in the real universe. And therefore, if it's making something that is in the real universe, heat, you have to account for how your fake thing made something real. It also doesn't mean that general relativity is wrong just because you, as a non-expert, don't understand it. So he's saying, I don't understand general relativity, that's why I think gravity creates heat. Yeah. So is that being completely dishonest to the subject or not? Is that just absolute mush? I mean, it's not the argument made in the video. Is that responsive to what I said in any way? No. Okay, it's just more Leibnizian lies. Here, I'm stating that 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. I never did the experiment. I have no evidence it's true. I'll just tell you it's true and you'll believe it, because you're doopy religious kooks. All right, you can now take this to heart or attack me for pointing out that studying certain things takes years of effort and quite high level of math. So no, it doesn't, is the whole point. There's no high-level math in the double-slit experiment. You know, it's really simple. It's Pythagorean geometry, for fuck's sake. And the same is true for gravity. There's no high-level math. We already know that we landed on the moon without using a single Einstein equation. So let's not pretend that you need field equations to land on the moon, you liar. God, you're just so dishonest. You likely won't understand the Navier-Stokes equations either. Yes, no, I think they're absolute crap. Anything with a v squared in it is absolute crap. Okay, and yet they describe the motion of fluids in a scarily precise way. Prove it. Show me. All right, does that mean that they are wrong just because you don't understand it? So again, you keep telling me what you have proven, right? Like Stern-Gerlach proves that electrons have spin. Bullshit. It's not even close to a viable truth. Okay, and it's just because you can't explain them in a YouTube comment. No. Well, can you explain them in anything else? Can you do anything besides this shit talking, okay, in a comment section? Can you actually make a video or do something to respond to actual points made? I mean, the challenge is I've given you an hour of drawing it for you, explaining it. You have to show where my drawings are incorrect, where I said something that is not true. And you can't do that because you're dishonest, lying sacks of shit. So a third comment by the same asshole. It just means that you're not an expert in fluid mechanics and general relativity. You have an IQ of 150, and it will still take years of study. I mean, this is just such... Yeah, sure. That's what people do seem to understand. If you're not an expert, you can expect to contribute nothing to the field. Amazing. So Faraday was a fraud because he wasn't an expert by your standards. Okay, because you don't understand the field. So again, you're the one who doesn't understand it. Okay, I know more about double-slit experiments. I've seen more double-slit experiments than anybody on this planet. That's my assertion. You'll never find another person who has watched more double-slit experiments than I have. I don't know why that's controversial for you. Yeah, fuck you. Get what you deserve, you scummy little piece of crap. Okay. So this is the old comment. Okay, there's my comment. So now we're getting closer. Let's see, these are some responses. It's good to finally see an admission that you do delete comments. What do you mean an admission? I do it right in the videos, for fuck's sake. I go to the thing and click it and say, fuck you. Oh, amazing. I mean, it's just such an amazing lie that, okay, I'm going to have the exception and I will block this person. Because that's just so outrageous. Like, somehow I have ever contended I don't delete absolute fucking garbage that you people type. I mean, some of it is so hilariously unrelated. I mean, especially posting my address and all kinds of other nonsense besides. Oh, just amazing. Every time somebody has been making an argument, okay, fuck this. Okay, I'm just, you're gone. I mean, this lying is just so disgusting. These weaselly pieces of garbage. All right. Let's see. What do you think about Dr. Hal Puthoff? Now, who the fuck is that? And why should I give a fuck? I made a video explaining to you clearly why there's a huge flaw in relativity theory or any theory that claims that the force of gravity isn't a fucking force. That's what I did. I made a video clearly saying one fucking thing. I didn't talk about any put-off fucker. Alright, his papers and theories of gravity and inertia being a byproduct of fluctuations in the zero-point energy field. Yeah, I already read that. It's just so fucking stupid. What do I give a shit about anything called the zero-point energy field? Why the fuck would that have any interest to me? I'm telling you there's a real fucking field of energy in the universe. Is the whole point of my argument. You fucking idiot. Alright, have you made... Yeah, that was the air track thing. Let's see... And what about the orbit of Mercury? If the guy can show us the math to make it work without relativity, that would be great. Yeah, well, look, there's clear arguments by, mathematicians where they actually argue. If you go to a forum, you can find it, where they actually argue about relativity and the actual field equations. And the argument is that the tensor is basically just creating a Vulcan inside the sun. what Einstein's doing is creating a mechanism that's causing a precession in the sun's location, in its center of mass. And that fluctuation in the sun's center of mass is causing Mercury to be distorted in its orbit. And because Venus and the Earth are so far away, they aren't affected, because it's not enough of an effect to affect Venus and the Earth. And that's the simple argument. That's just a contrivance. What he's really done is just change the position of the sun, which Newton didn't do. Newton didn't assume that the mass of the sun would be uneven, that the sun could even be, say, a dual focus entity. And that's why the sun is actually rotating. That the sun could be, what do you call those when there's two things by something or other? And if that were true, if the sun's actual center of mass was wider than it is tall, that would be enough to cause the fuck up in Mercury's orbit. I mean, you don't need much. You're talking about a few feet a year here, asshole. So it's not that much of a difference. And so all you need is any irregularity in the sun, and you explained the precession of Mercury. But you don't care about these facts. No point in expressing them to you. Alright. Never expected to see you again. Not interesting. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. We gotta find the one that we haven't done yet. Undercover agent. There we go. I'm already getting tired. Yeah, so. Let's see. I gotta go out and shovel snow. Anyway. No, in effect, Einstein considered gravity to be an emergent property resulting from the way matter evolves its energy configuration. So, show me the evidence of that. Show me an Einstein quote where he says that gibberish. Okay, no, I don't think so. As dynamic systems expand their energy, they heat surrounding space according to the second law of thermodynamics. Well, that's not Einstein. So, again, if you're arguing that this bent geodesic creates real energy in the universe, then you can't make the argument that there's an entropy problem, because any energy your bent space creates is essentially free energy, and it's constant energy. It's a constant supply of energy in the universe, and you have to account for where it disappears to, where it gets used up. And you don't have any capacity to do that, because you're not going to be able to explain how, well, the energy turns into bent space. Because then you're basically conceding my argument that the energy is causing gravity, not bent space. All right. And the space undergoes expansion, allowing cooler space to flow into the system to be heated. So, okay, so he's using, there's a greater density of space to heat, and therefore that's where the extra heat goes. The universe is getting bigger and bigger. So it takes energy to heat empty space. Okay, that's his basic argument. And because empty space is being made, that's absorbing the extra energy. Now, you can choose to believe that if you want. I think that's made up invisible man mush. Okay, personally, I think that's just saying hobgoblins did it. All right, expand at radiated away. Well, nothing's radiated away. There's no away. You have to explain the fact that it's going to hit all the other stuff that's in the universe first before it radiates away. All right, it is as if each point of energy field is like a heating element, and the space containing the field provides the coldness that causes these points in the field to dissipate the space around them. So again, I can't argue something you just made up, okay, that has no testable reality. So your claim that the expansion of the universe is using up all the energy that is being created by gravity, that is all the heat being generated inside the Earth, it radiates out into space, and you're saying somehow all of that energy is absorbed by newly created space. Okay, I say bullshit, but whatever. The space is like a fuel needed to drive expansion, and this heat exchanger creates convection fields that allow warm space to move away from the point. So now he's turned it into a real ether. So now he's saying that somehow there's convection currents in empty space. So that, again, that's not even conventional physics. So he's just making up his own bullshit. And cooler space to flow towards the point. So I've heard no one ever talk about hot and cold space. So that's just bullshit. Like in a kettle, the heated water flow away from the element while the colder water drift towards the element. So the colder water doesn't drift in any sense, okay? It's sucked. So when the hot leaves, the cold has to go in because it has to fill the void. All right. And space is a vacuum. It doesn't have any substance. You can't pull space, but whatever. And that arrangement gives rise to convection columns, right? No, it doesn't. I don't know what a convection column in space is. I think that's just absolute baby talk. Made up shit. I don't see there's much reason to read the rest of this, right? So if you take the sun, a large ball of fire, just spewing energy into intergalactic space. So again, we think it's spewing because it's of an energy we can see. The argument is that the gravitational energy that actually heated the sun is 1,000 times more energy. So the stuff we can't see, the photons not at a frequency, outnumber the photons that do have a frequency by 1,000 to 1, kind of a number. So for every bit of energy we see or can detect, there's 1,000 times more energy that we can't see. And the trick is that 1,000 times more energy doesn't have any differential in it. There's no imbalance in it. So everything in the 1,000 times more powerful energy is standing still, because it's the same amount of energy on both sides. And it's only that 1% that we change into microwaves or visible light or something else is a tiny percentage of the total energy. So the sun looks like, oh, it's spewing zillions and zillions of amounts of energy in the form of light or photons. When no, what it's really spewing or consuming is zillions and zillions of amounts of pressure in terms of momentum of mass. The momentum created by gravity is gigantic. If you had to convert the 1 mile an hour, if you have to give something 1 mile an hour of momentum, like an elephant, you had to give it 1 mile an hour, move it 1 mile an hour. Tremendous amount of energy. Can you imagine trying to do that with a laser? How much energy you would have to put into the light to actually move an elephant 1 mile an hour? That's the difference. Obviously, it'd be 1,000 times or 10,000 times or 100,000 times the amount of light. Okay, you'd need, then some 5-watt laser. And so that's what you have to understand. Gravity is creating a tremendous amount of energy, giving objects a tremendous amount of energy. So it's just magnitude times more force that's creating gravity than force that's in the form of visible light. All right, it is not merely energy that is being emitted. It is a chunk of hot space. Okay, so there's really no point in talking about this because nobody believes this. Who has this hot space theory? I mean, if I go Google hot space, I don't think I'm going to get anything but some sort of pizza recipe. Transferring heat away from the sun, creating expansion in that direction. So, all right, that's enough. This is just all his own made-up wiggle waggles. Let's see. So that would explain gravity, but there's a nice bonus that comes with this model. If cold space, so she's still talking about cold space. All right, sorry. That's your own theory. Sell your theory on your time. I'm arguing with the conventional religion, the big religion. I'm not going to argue with the little fanatic religions. Okay. So is there any distinction from buoyancy to density and gravity? No, the idea is to understand that gravity is a nuclear force. So with that, once you have that in your head, okay, gravity is only affecting electrons and protons. Then you understand that electrons are all the same mass and protons are all the same mass. And so I can only make this gravitational thing happen by anything I move has to go the same speed, because those are the same sails in the wind, right? If every boat has the same size sail, it has to collect the same amount of wind. It has to collect the same amount of gravity. So that's why gravity doesn't care about, all these words don't mean anything. The only thing that matters is how many electrons and protons are there and how many have their sails in the wind. All right, because they're all going to move the same. If I take one electron and put it outside of you, it's going to move the same as you, because you're just really the electrons and the protons. All right, curved space or action at a distance. If the apple fell into a basket of water instead of hitting Newton's head, he would have understood. So I don't even know what that means. That the apple is more dense than the air, so it falls. Oh, okay. So this is just too ridiculous. This is like a flat earther. He thinks the atmosphere is creating gravity. You're too stupid. No offense, but you're really too stupid. Okay, water is more dense than the apple. Okay, well, this is just so stupid. No imaginary force needed, curved nonsense. Okay, so I think I'm going to be justified in saying, do we really have to, should people be, all right, I'll leave it just because I promised to leave it. But I mean, flat earthers, I mean, you're just a liar and you know it. I mean, all the people you're saying, this gigantic conspiracy. I mean, my father worked on tungsten that was used to make the rocket Saturn V kind of rocket engines. And, so there's all these millions of people that are connected to the space program, to, satellites, the images that we get from space of a curved Earth. I mean, why are you doing this? You really think all those people were liars for some curved Earth purpose? I mean, it's just so fucking ignorant and retarded. So you're just doing this to be a troll. And you really, we don't have enough problems on Earth. We don't have enough, Donald Trump blight. You have to just add to all of this nonsense and stupidity. You piece of scum. I mean, you just can't, look, if I was making laws, somebody said they're a flat earther, I would just declare them a scummy liar, okay? And, I'd put them on Scummy Liar Island, and they can eat each other. Because there's no point in having a brain. There's no point in respecting human intelligence, the whole idea of trying to understand our situation in this universe, if you're going to let these kind of assholes pollute the gene pool. Yeah, fuck that. Okay. All right, this is making sense. I'm hooked. So that's probably a lie, but fine. He is to some kind of substance. So I will reply to this. Yeah. Right, I'm a drug addict. Sure, you're proving that. Just like you proved the Eddington experiment was credible, and just like you proved the double-slit experiment is waves. Yeah, you haven't proven shit. So I don't know, who's John Grable? Why the fuck should I collaborate with anybody else? Why the fuck are you doing this name-droppy shit? What does it have to do with the argument? Oh, that's right, nothing. I don't, and then this factual formulae, I don't know, whatever. All right, so where does the squared velocity come from? So this is obviously an older comment. So this is kind of off the gravity subject. So I guess we're done with gravity videos. Okay. So we will say that's enough of a video. And such. Yeah, about an hour, so that's more than enough, frankly. And such. So... there's just no evidence that somebody can man up. It just seems amazing that they're with all these people, they're going to do all this naysaying, that they can't find one person that can make sort of a reasonable video presentation. Just make a video and they can do some drawing and just explain how I'm wrong and I can't possibly be right. And then I could just respond to their counter argument, whatever it's going to be. I mean, I don't think there can be any counter argument because what I've described is perfectly consistent with all the observed facts. And we're just arguing about, you say a Holy Ghost did it, I'm saying a real force did it. I think the real force theory is a lot better than the silly geodesic theory.